Kirri,
Hi.
good to see you again. How has your break from just directing The Wizard of Oz been?
Oh, goodness. I don't know if I really had a break because when we were in tech rehearsal and in final dress rehearsal, I would finish up with the kids and then immediately go into these rehearsals. So I don't know if it was truly a break, but as for a break from the kids, I miss them. It feels so weird not to have them. Hey, Mark.
Well, he's a couple years away from his first audition.
Oh, yeah. You just wait. 5 more years and I got you.
Tell me about your character in the show. You play Beverly Gladstone.
Yes. So Beverly is the director of the theater. She is within the final weeks of rehearsal, if not the final week of rehearsal. So she's not really difficult to play in the sense of while we were first developing our characters, I was in those final weeks of rehearsal. So that's basically her, is just trying to get this show on the road, make sure that it's successful, but everything and anything is happening, and I don't know if she's really a fan of her cast members. So
And I imagine a murder in Tech Week is really inconvenient for a director.
Yes, and having to pull the understudy and making sure that they get their lines down and all their cues. And then one of the biggest issues is your actors having like a sense of friendship, and they don't. So just everything and anything that a director hopes never happens does.
So you have a lot of life experience that really plays really easily into playing this role.
Yeah, I since 2009, I think, is when I started directing. So I can pull from so many different experiences. Never a murder, though. I don't think anyone's murdered anyone. I hope.
Yet.
Let's keep this streak going.
And as an actor, how many productions have you acted in for theater?
A lot. I would say my character range is probably in its 30s, but for this theater alone, I did Baskerville. See How They Run, I played the lead in that one. For Love Rides the Rails, I played the lead heroine. And actually, just recently, I did Rumors at the beginning of this year. I played Cassie, which that was an interesting role to do. A lot of aggression in that character.
That you are also chair of youth theater.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give to young people who are interested in getting involved in the theater, either here in Sierra Vista or anywhere?
I think there's three big things when it comes to getting involved in a theater. One is showing up to auditions just in general. A lot of people sit here and go, man, I wish I was part of that show, but then come to auditions and you could be. A lot of actors, especially here, are first-time actors ever. And that's one of the greatest things that I love about this theater is you don't need experience. Just show up. If you fit the role, you fit the role. The second one would be go to shows themselves. TV and theater are two completely separate things. Watch the actors, how they are projecting on stage. Watch their movements. Everything is bigger on stage. And then three, don't be afraid to be silly. A lot of times we're so focused on how we look that it falters our performances. So if you just go for it, if you are told act like a beluga whale, then you go for it, because if you feel like you look silly and you don't want to look silly, then you look silly. But if you just go for it, then you're the best beluga whale out there. So that's honestly the three big things that I would tell our youth.
Do you find that even as a seasoned actor and a seasoned director, you still have to overcome that instinct for yourself to kind of just commit and be willing to look silly? Because it's kind of a human instinct to protect ourselves and not want to look silly.
100%. In fact, the role that actually got me out of being so concerned of what I looked like was being the Wicked Witch of the West a couple years back, because I had to do a crazy witch cackle and I had to slouch and just green all over me. And if I didn't commit to that, then I didn't sell it, right? And that was so difficult for me. And then there's some other roles that it's just, 5 years ago, I had to play this drunk lawyer, and she was all over the place, cursing left and right, and I felt really uncomfortable because, you know, I had been told basically my whole life, don't use those words as a female, don't represent yourself this way. So to break down that barrier that had been built for so long and commit to all of the cursing, all the drinking, all the gun flinging, hooting and hollering, it was difficult. Like, I was so scared that I was going to look silly, but because I let go of it, I got the award of best actor for that night. So that was cool.
That's
But yeah,
fantastic.
to this day, I think any actor will tell you they still feel silly, but they commit.
Thank you very much.
Of course.